Well, hey, book lovers, welcome back to our weekly book cover design creation live stream. Today, we're creating a royal kind of princess or queen type cover. I do not know if it's going to be the princess that saved the world or the evil villain queen who is about to destroy everything and happens to be our main character. You get to help me make those decisions. So, we're going to dive in today and have these conversations about what we're creating. We are using Photoshop CC, a Book Home Intuos Pro editing tablet, and yes, I will be wearing my blue light blocking glasses so I don't burn my eyeballs out while we are working here today. And I'm super excited for this one because we're actually creating a human out of multiple humans. So it's going to be very interesting and very fun. I'm going to go ahead and put my my lines up there so I know what's what. And first things first is we are going to be working with this model's face. We're going to be working with this model's shoulders and torso, and then we're going to be creating the bottom half of this person out of this skirt and legs. So let's go ahead and dive in. First things first, we are going to cut out our model for the torso, and everything else is going to be based around that torso. So I'm going to go ahead and I am just going to use my quick selection tool, and I am just going to highlight her body there. And it got some of it, but not all of it. So I am going to hold my shift button down, and then I'm just going to lasso the parts that it missed. And it definitely did not cut out in between her arm and her body. So we're just going to hold the option button down to remove that section as I trace around what I need. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab some of, but not all of her hair, probably some of her neck too. And then we're going to see what we need to blend it into the other girl. We can definitely change that hair color. I am not stressed over that. But that's pretty decent for what I'm looking for right now. I know, faceless person. What do we do, right? So we're going to bring that right on over here. And the next thing that we are going to do is to pull the face from our other mod. Whoa. Uh-oh. Aha! I don't know what just happened. I do not know what just happened. I'm going to, real fast, I'm just going to be smart about this. Just a second. We're going to save this, and we're going to be able to fix this momentarily. I never did learn how to spin it in Photoshop. I teach Photoshop for a living, but hey, you know, whatever, right? We are going to go ahead and we're going to close that down, and then we're going to reopen it. It will pop up in just a second. Just hang tight for 1 second while I open this back up and put it back where it belongs. There we go. Now we can jump in. I know it went a little weird on me, right? A little weird today. Let me know. What do you think? Should we go with a dark queen or should we go with like a princess who saves the world? This is the model whose face we're going to be using. So we are going to go ahead and make that a little bit bigger, and then I'm just going to use my quick selection tool, and all I want to do is grab really her face and some of her hair. We are going to be removing the shoulders, so I'm not super worried about this, and then we're going to have to do, of course, some color correction, and we're going to have to adjust it with this. So at that point, we're just going to rearrange this a little bit, and we're going to kind of get a decent idea of where that's going, and then we're going to start blending it in. So I'm going to zoom in nice and close right here. And let's see, first things first, what is going on with my computer today? I don't know what's happening. I am going to go ahead and I am going to go and grab my brushes, which I forgot I didn't have up because I had to restart the computer because we were having some trouble with the screen sharing, but don't worry, we fixed it. Tech support is fantastic. And I am just going to fix up her hair. We've got that like slight pixelation halo-y effect going on here, so we just want to fix that just a little bit and just kind of fix that just a little bit. Remove the halo, remove the colors, you know the drill. If you are here hanging out with me, go ahead and make sure you are sharing with a friend. Bring a friend to the party, you know the drill. Dark Queen sounds spectacular, right? I know, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And then the next thing I'm going to do, because I have the base of what I want here, more or less, I basically have what I want. I'm going to duplicate this, turn one of the layers off, and then I'm just going to convert it to a smart object. Then I'm going to put a layer mask on it. You know, with layer masks, that is a non-destructive way of changing things so that you do not damage it. And I am just going to, on a large round brush that is a soft brush, 100% opacity. I'm just going to start painting off what I don't want or what I don't need. So I am going to put her face back on because the face is kind of important. And then I'm just going to start blending out her hair. And I'm going to let the other girl's hair be what we want here. I'm going to lower my opacity. And I'm just going to start blending this in. And then we're going to change all the hair color when we get there, which is not just yet. There we go. So then I'm just coming in and refining some of this. Actually, I guess I could probably just take that off. No, actually, I did like that. Sometimes we make choices. We bring this back in. There we go. And then I can just kind of finesse that a little bit, lower my opacity again, and blend. There we go. So you can kind of see where this is coming from. There's just a little bit over on the right side that is not quite blended in all the way. So there we go. There we go. Now on the top, on the shoulder part of this, I am going to have to fix where we lost some of that data there. So we are just going to come back in. Oops, wrong one. So I'm just toggling that over to a white brush instead of a black brush. So white brush adds things in, black brush removes, and we're just painting what we don't need off. Again, we're going to change the hair color when we get there. But for now, we're just customizing the shape of this a little bit. Not bad, not bad. So you can see we're obviously going to have to color tone this a little bit because we definitely have what was taken in the sunlight and what was taken in the studio. So we're going to have to make sure that we color correct this. But before I do that, I just want to refine any weird pixelation that we had or haloing that we do not want around her arms because we had to lasso that. So that was just me doing that. Okay. And we're back out. That's good. I don't know what's happening to this computer today, but here we are. We've got it going on so far. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to save that. And what I'm going to do next, oh my gosh, what is going on? I don't know what's happening or why it's zooming in and out. Apologies. If you're just jumping. Oh no. Did that go blank for you? No, we're okay? Okay, it totally disappeared off of my screen. I don't know what's happening. My computer. What is going on? Okay. 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 I cannot see all of my screens at once, which means I can't see what's going on with you guys. I'm going to have to check in from time to time, but I do not have access to you right now. I don't know what's happening. And I'm going to use a clipping mask to attach to the face layer. And then the first thing I'm going to do is bump up the contrast and bump, what do I want? Bump down the brightness just a little bit. Obviously, we've got very yellow skin versus very red skin, which is something we do not want it to have. So we're going to balance this out. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove some of that sunlight yellow by grabbing a curves panel, and we're going to use a clipping mask to that face layer. And we are going to go into the blue channel, and we're going to drag it over to add some blue to it so that it is not so yellow. What's happening? What is going on? It is not letting me adjust this. Let me add that in. What is going on? And let me tap on that. What is happening? Oh my goodness. I don't know what's happening. It's not allowing me to do that. Let me grab another tool. All I'm going to do is why is it on the color picker? What is happening? That's not even the color picker tool. What is happening? Okay, we're going to give this one more try. So I'm just saving this real fast. And then I'm going to force quit my Photoshop, and I am going to bring it back up in just a second, and we're gonna see if we can get this fixed, because what on earth is happening today? I have absolutely no idea what is going on with this computer. But if you're here, let me know that you're here and that you're excited. Let me know, should we go light princess or dark queen for this cover as I pull this back up, and we're gonna give it one more shot. It just popped back up, so I'm going to connect it, and we're going to try one more time to make this work. Okay, here we go. One more time. Okay, so we are now adjusting our layer with the face on it, and I'm going to add the curves panel, and I'm going to use the clipping mask for that. I'm going to go into the blue channel, and I'm going to slide it to the blue side of things, and you can already see how that has changed that. So I'm just gonna play with this a little bit and see where I need to get this to be. That was too much. There we go. That's a little bit better. So then I'm going to go down to the shoulder level, and I'm going to pull up a curves panel, and I'm going to use the clipping mask there. And I'm going to go into the red channel, because now we need to get rid of some of the red. So if I slide to one side, woo, red. If I slide to the other side, it goes more along the green. And I'm just going to adjust that until it kind of matches what I need. There we go. Okay, not bad, not terrible. We're still going on this. So the next thing that I need to do, I'm going to zoom in pretty far. And I'm going to move this over. I want to blend my hair in a little bit differently. I need to back up just a little bit on this one. Let me try. There we go. That's better. I'm going to go up to the layer with my hair on it. I'm just going to lasso part of the hair, and then I am going to bring up a brightness and contrast panel and use the clipping mask, and I'm going to drag up my contrast severely. There we go. And we're just painting that right on in there. And then it looks like I've got one section that's part of my shoulders that I need to address. So I'm just going to grab that section right by her cheekbone there. And I'm going to, again, grab a brightness and contrast panel, use that clipping mask, and pull that up. No? Is that not what it is? Oh, okay, I see what I did. Never mind. Take that back. I'm going to go back up to the top here because I apparently didn't lasso. Okay, what's happening? Oh, no, okay, it's part of it. So that's actually just a weird part of the photo. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my clone tool, and I am just going to come in and what is happening? What is happening here? I'm on my layer mask now, and it's just okay. It was missing a section, so we were seeing the background through it. That's all it is. We got that fixed. We're good to go. We're good to go. So the question is, do we want to change our hair color? Do we want to make this darker? It's kind of a reddish color right now. Should we go with a darker hair color for this? What I'm going to do is I'm going to let you guys voice your opinion into the comments. Before I go any further, my next step is to add in the skirt and the legs. So let me go ahead and pull right on back here. And I am going to pull up the photo with the skirt and the legs. I'm just going to grab my lasso tool, and I'm just going to come up and grab that. I am going to wait for that to register because it's going to take a second here. And then I am just going to remove that concrete there in between her knees. And there we go. It actually outlined the skirt pretty well. And so I'm just going to attach that just right there. And then all I'm going to do is resize this to fit on the model. It grabbed the wrong thing. So let me go ahead. I'm going to grab everything that's the top part of my model and put it into a folder and move this up a little bit higher. I'm then going to grab the skirt and bring this down here. And we are going to, at that point, be able to adjust and apparently give her really big big hips there that don't actually belong there. So then I'm just going to resize until it makes sense. And we can blend that in, or we can choose to not blend it in, whatever we end up doing. We might not even need the legs, honestly, if we leave her down toward the bottom. We'll see. Darker hair? All right, all right. Let me go ahead. Here's what I'm going to do next. We're actually going to put in the background. We're going to adjust that and start thinking of titles because we're going to need that. This is a really cool tree type thing that I found. And so what I'm just going to do is I'm going to use that background kind of like a tunnel type thing. And we're actually going to block most of that road. But I like that part of it. So let me bring her down. And I can actually make her a little bit bigger if we're not going to use the skirt there. And you can kind of see how that frames her really nicely. I like the way that that looks a lot. I'm going to have to mess with some coloring, but I like the way that it frames her body. It kind of goes with the shape around her shoulders and up. So at that point, we're going to do some color correcting and we're going to mess with our model a little bit. But I kind of like that. So I'm almost thinking I definitely want to take that background darker and I need to make it less saturated. So I'm going to bump up my contrast. I'm going to bump down my brightness, and then I'm going to put in either a black and white panel or hue and saturation. I'm going to grab hue and saturation and I'm going to pull down on that, and then I'm going to pull down on my lightness as well. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to add another brightness and contrast panel just to adjust this to where I want it to be at this point. And I'm going to lighten it just a little bit. Not bad. Then we're going to add in some lighting effects around her to make her pop with it. But I like the darkness of this. And I may even add in some darkness behind her. So I'm actually going to add in a blank layer. I'm going to grab my gradient tool. I'm going to make sure it's on color over transparent. And then I'm going to grab the radial version of it. And on a black setting, I am going to come in and I am going to add in some darkness back here. And I didn't like that, but I do want to add in a second layer. And then I'm going to separate her a little bit from the background by kind of pulling this out behind her. And so we've got some shadows here that still kind of form that, like following her shoulders and the lines that are already there. I'm just going to reduce the opacity, and then it kind of makes her stand out a little bit. And we can play with our light. We've obviously got that very heavy shine on the one side of her hair. So we may have a light source coming from here or from behind her that will make her pop as well. Jenna, hey lady. It is interesting, isn't it? I go kind of crazy with these covers. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come back up to my folder with my girl in it. I'm actually going to label that so I don't miss it. And I'm just going to lasso part of her hair. And we're going to change the color of this. So first things first, I'm going to grab a brightness and contrast panel and bump up the contrast and down the brightness. Oops, I did not use my clipping mask. There we go. Bump down the brightness. So we are already darkening her hair. It's got a pretty purple sheen now. I like it. Then I'm just going to use my soft round brush, 100% opacity. Whoa, to paint it on certain parts of her hair. That is way too much. So I'm going to lower that opacity. And I am going to paint on some darkness here. So we're just painting that in. And we are just kind of changing how that looks a little bit. Definitely got that on her face a little bit. So I'm just going to bump that up to 100% opacity and paint it off of her face. That might be a little bit much. So I'm going to back it up just a tiny bit. And if I don't like the red sheen, all I have to do is add, I can either paint over with the color or I can just do like a desaturation on it. So I can come in, I can grab it, I can go into my hue and saturation, or I can do a black and white panel, and I can just change the way that that is. Because it's a clipping mask, it kind of fits right in, and you have the ability to just paint that right in here. We can also do something interesting if you really wanted to get interesting about it. And we could change the color of her hair altogether. So all you would do is paint over that a little bit. You'd add the clipping mask. And so let's say we're just painting in here, and this is just a life lesson at this point. We have the ability to change the blend mode down to color or to hue, and then change the opacity, and all of a sudden we've got totally different hair. This is not a good job. I would actually go in and refine that, but I just wanted to show you how that kind of worked. But I kind of like this almost reddish tone here. Hey, girl, I'm excited that you're here. There's a little bit on this hair that's now kind of like a dark blob, which I don't love. So I'm just going to come in and I am going to highlight a particular section. I'm going to come in on a brightness and contrast panel, clipping mask, again, always with the clipping mask, like my favorite thing. And I'm just going to add in a little bit of brightness to that and paint that up just a little bit. Not everywhere, not that like streak. I don't know what just happened there, but anywhere where it's too dark for me, I'm actually just going to come back in and add in some lightness, because I would rather see the strands of hair than have it dark. And then it's a little bit red on the bottom because that was obviously from our other girl. So I'm just going to come in and I'm going to grab a black and white panel and I'm just going to create the clipping mask there. And I am just going to reduce that opacity just a little bit. And I'm going to kind of paint it in here. There we go. So that removes some of the red. And a little bit up at the top. We've almost got like a weird ombre thing going on here. I don't know what to tell you. It's interesting. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this. But that's kind of giving you the basics of that one. I don't know what's happening with my computer. So many things are popping up right now. I don't know what's happening. Sorry. Apologies. Life. Should we change the color of her dress? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below and start thinking of a title because I'm going to need that very quickly. I'm going to back myself up here. And I am going to go down under the layer with my model on it, and I am going to go into my lighting effects. And because I had to restart my computer, they're all now in a different place. So give me just a second as I figure out what it is that I want / need for this. And I am just opening up a folder, and we shall see what plays nicely with us today. Let's just kind of see what works with this. This is one I don't use very often, but I feel like it could be an interesting experiment for us if we kind of start to pull things up here. Oh, I think I took this to a very Disney princess place. Let me know. Let me know. What do you think? I know we were... Oh, did it just kick me off? What just happened? Oh, nope. Okay, it's still here. We're good. My computer is being wonky today, friends. I don't know what's happening, and I don't know what to tell you. This is the first time that something like this has happened. I'm just going to go into Edit, down to Transform, and what do I need? Horizontal. Yep, that's what I needed. And I'm just going to bring this behind my model here, and I am just going to screen that a little bit. I'm going to put the layer mask over that, and then on 100% opacity, soft round brush, we're just going to paint off some of those lines. And then I'm going to lower my opacity just a little bit. And I'm going to blend it just a little bit. Yeah, we took this to a very Disney princess place. I don't know what to tell you. It is what it is. But you know what? It can be whatever we want it to be, so I'm good with that. I'm just attempting to lower the opacity of this right behind her arm here. There we go. And that was a little bit too much. My computer... I didn't even touch the pen button. I didn't touch the trigger for the pen button. I don't know what's happening here. Oh my goodness. My computer today, friends. So we're going now with the Disney Princess vibes because we can. Because it's cute. And I'm just going to take it off of some of the tree, but not all of the trees. We just don't want it to be like super, super intense. This is really cute though. Now I kind of want to write this story. What do you guys think? Are you feeling this? Are you liking this? Should I write this story? I kind of want to. I'm going to need a good title. I need a good title to go up there. And we definitely need to change the font for this, but I like this. This is kind of cool. I'm going to go actually above the layer with my model in it. And I'm going to grab some bokeh. And I'm just going to add that in and see how it looks. It's either going to be amazing or it's going to be an epic fail. There is no in between with this particular one. So I'm just kind of dragging this here. And then we're not leaving it just like this. I'm just lowering the opacity. I'm looking more toward the bottom line of this. We're going to put the layer mask on and 100% opacity, soft round black. We are painting off of her face, but leaving it down around her arms. And maybe taking it off of her hair right here, but I kind of sort of like that. I think I might want to lower the opacity just a little bit more right there. And we're just going to kind of bring part of that in. There we go. That's kind of cool looking. Not bad. This looks great, right? It's cute. I'm kind of liking this. I am kind of liking this. I think I might need some sparkles though. What do we think? Like, I feel like sparkles would be pretty. I like the way that this has gone. I didn't expect to go light, bright, and airy Disney princess. There should be like a chipmunk on her squirrel or chipmunk on her squirrel? Shoulder. Chipmunk on her shoulder. You all, I don't even know. Give me some titles. I need titles. That's all I can say at this point. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to pull up my brushes. I'm going to add those babies in because, again, we had trouble at the beginning of this and we had to reboot the computer. So I don't have those ready to go. But when do I ever on these live streams? Am I right? It's like I don't know I'm going to be using flares when I clearly am. If you're just jumping in, hey, and welcome to the book cover design live stream. You get to help me create a title for this fairy tale inspired princessy story. This was not what I had anticipated when we started today's conversation, but I'm really loving this. And I kind of don't want to sell this one. Typically, I offer these for $100 while I'm live on air, but I kind of want to keep this one. This one might be for me. You might have to, like, if you want this, you might have to bribe me. Okay. All right, I think it's up and ready to go, so I'm going to go ahead and pull up the brush panel, which I just had on. I know I had on because I used it. Don't know what's happening today, guys. It is crazy time over here. And I'm just going to scroll down to my flares, and I am going to grab my flare brush, and I'm going to, oops, I see what I have done. I'm going to, what, no, blue. I don't know where the blue came from, but like weird times, guys. It is weird times over here. I cannot even tell you what's going on, but we've got some sparkles around here. I'm going to go in while I'm waiting for you to give me some title ideas, and I am going to go down to layer style, down to outer glow, and we are just going to grab like a yellowy color probably. And I'm just looking for like a golden tone yellow, and I'm going to bump up my opacity. And there we go. Maybe I don't like yellow. Maybe yellow is not the color. Maybe we need another color. Maybe we actually need to go with more of the blue. And then we would need to tone that down a little bit. Maybe I want to go pink. Let me see. Pink might be a little too. Maybe a purple. Maybe like a purple. Pull that back up a little bit. Well, that's not bad. That's not bad. And so then I would definitely add in some flare over on the background as well. We're going to need to do a little bit of work on the background. And we're going to add some to the spine as well. You know, we always get the spine looking pretty too. I am going to go down to the background while I'm waiting for you guys to give me some title ideas here. And I am just going to add a blank layer. I'm going to go into my gradient tool, and I'm going to switch it over to the linear tool. And then I am going to grab a black color, and I'm going to, oh, there we go, fill that in. That was perfection right there. I'm going to add another layer because I don't want to mess with that. And I am going to, on my gradient tool, switch it over to radial and just kind of play a little bit with the trees along the top. There we go. That kind of brings it all in together. It makes it look like she's glowing. I love this, and I want to write this, like, badly. All right. It's time. It's time for my title. It's also maybe time for a little bit of color adjusting. We'll see when we get there. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to look for a font that I like with this. Think something princessy, I'm thinking, when it comes to titles. And I am just going to look for something that looks a little bit more on the scripty side. You know, that's the bane of my existence, trying to find something that's like thick but scripty. It's always the worst thing to try to create. Ooh, that was intense. So I'm right now just searching through my fonts. I never find fonts while we're on air. It's the worst thing ever. But we try. We do try to make this happen while we're on air. It's not something that, like, if it's a custom cover, we can create fonts and make them all cool looking, but we don't do that while we're on air during our live streams for the pre-mades. So I am just scrolling through this. This is not going to work because that's way too scripty. Let me try. Oh, I have an idea. There we go. Not bad. I'm going to go in and I'm going to adjust my coloring on this one. So I'm going to drop the outer glow. Yeah, I'm going to drop the outer glow. I'm going to come in and I'm going to put a satin over it. And I'm going to mess with my drop shadow to make it stand out just a little bit more. There we go. So that makes it pop a lot better, which I love. And is anybody else getting kind of like Vanessa Hudgens-y vibes off of this? Like, is it just me? Am I the only one seeing this? Queen of the Forest. Okay. What else we got? Drop those titles in there for me while I grab some water. As we hustle and we wrap this baby up, I'm loving this. I really like this cover. I feel the need to write this cover. I'm just saying, this could be a story. I see it. My fairy tale vibes. It's a thing. It's a thing. Okay. Let's go ahead and we'll say, Queen. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. We're going to make it a little bit bigger. There we go. And we know each line here for our title is going to be at a different location of. Oh, I like that. I feel like I don't want to squish more words in there. Queen of. Queen, let's just, oh, what's jumping in? I think a name would make a great title. Queen of, oh, let's come up with a name of a kingdom. Come up with a kingdom name. Y'all, you have 30 seconds to come up with a kingdom name. Drop it in there. Go ahead. Go ahead. This is your shot. This is your time. I'm trying to get the static out of my hair as we talk. I'm going to leave that right there for just a second. And I'm just going to scroll up a little bit. And I am just going to play with my brightness and contrast while you come up with the name of a kingdom. I'm just bumping up the contrast just a touch. Bumping up the brightness just a touch. But I love the yellowy vibes to this. The tones, the golden. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm going to remove the fancy hook line from the back. And I am going to go ahead and duplicate one of these words. Drag it to the back while I'm waiting for you. Oh, I don't know what happened there. To come up with a name for this kingdom. And I'm just going to type fancy hook line and make it smaller. There we go. Fabulous. Okay. Elliot, I don't know how to say that, but I'll write it. I'll type that. I have no idea. E-E-L-E-S-S-E-D-I-L. Okay, there we go. I typed it. I don't know how to say it, but I typed it. And we've got it smaller here because it is a long name. I'm going to leave it like this because I like the big of there. If I were going to actually put this on coveraday.com, I would change the size of it because, well, let me change it for you. I'll change it for you. I'll just duplicate it and bring it back for me because I'm definitely keeping this cover. I'm just saying y'all can't have this. So I'm just going to duplicate that one. And I'm going to resize the small one here. So I'll make that small and I will move its location. There we go. And then we will just make that bigger. There we go. Not bad. Okay. Oh, well, we got another one. That's okay. They are both made up. LOL. So then I'm just going to duplicate this because this is going to go over on the spine. Spines always change because of the page number of the person who buys it, which is me in this case. And I'm just going to transform that and flip it 90 degrees clockwise So we're just going to put it all in one single line, and then we'll deal with it later. I am going to get rid of this author name down at the bottom, and I am just going to go ahead and duplicate that title and write author name and put that down at the bottom. There we go. Man, y'all, I really like this. This is staying with me. I'm just saying. It only takes one. Yeah, girl. We got it. We got it. I like it. Let me go ahead and duplicate that. We'll bring that down here. It only takes one. Haha. I feel like we can take that a lot of different ways, too. Like, only takes one what? Only takes one queen? Is she going to fight somebody? I love it. Let's see. We can put it up here. We can put it over to the side if we, like, break it up. Put it down here if we break it up. We could do the one-liner here. We could do the one-liner here, which I don't like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop that down into 2 lines right there. And I'm going to pop that either there. I could pop it there. I could pop it right there, which kind of works for me. I think I'm going to leave it right there. And then I'm just going to take a real quick look at the back cover because I'm not sure if I want light there or not. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into my folder here, and I'm just going to grab one of these, and I am going to pop that onto a screen blend mode. And I can put it in various locations. So I could do it like that so there's lots of light coming in. I could kind of move it up so there's only a little bit of light and flare coming in. We could really back it up so there's just like a hint of that coloring there, which I think I almost kind of like, just a little bit. And I'm just going to toggle it on and off because I like that it brings in the front cover. So let me just move that right on over, maybe like there, and then I'm going to put a layer mask over it. And with a soft round brush, 100% opacity, I am going to switch it to the round brush and not to the flare brush. A 100% opacity black, I'm just going to paint that off. And then I'm just going to actually reduce my opacity to about 19%. And I'm just going to paint off certain areas so that we've got some of the coloring, but not a ton of it. I can also, if I want, bring in some of that flare. Grab some bokeh. Where did my bokehs go? Oh, here we are. Here we go. We've got some bokeh, which we can bring down. I'm almost thinking toward the bottom corner. Boom. Bright. Bright with the bokeh here. I actually want to go into Edit, Transform, Rotate 180 degrees. There we go. I kind of like that better at the bottom. And I'm just going to put a layer mask over it. And I'm just going to hit Command-I to invert because I am going to take away most of it. And so then I'm just on a low opacity brush, just going to paint in a little bit of bokeh here. There's a little bit more bokeh than I wanted, so I'm going to lower my opacity on the layer. But that kind of fills it in there nicely. And I almost think what I might do is I'm going to grab one of my small bokehs. I am going to grab one of my small bokehs. Thank you. And I am just going to use a little bit of it up at the top corner just to kind of, yeah, that's nice. So then I'm just going to put the layer mask on it, and I am going to paint that off on 100% opacity. There we go. And then I'm just going to reduce the opacity of the actual layer. So we have a little bit of bokeh in there, but not too terribly much. Not bad. Not bad. I think I might need a little bit of bokeh on the spine. So I'm going to grab this bokeh here. And I'm just going to kind of adjust to see what might work. I don't want to go like overboard. That could work. Okay, so then I'm just going to change my blend mode down to screen. And I am going to put that layer mask over it. And again, Command-I to invert that. And then I just want to paint it in just where I want it. And then maybe take it off of her a little bit, but have it on the spine. Right there. There we go. And I'm just lowering the opacity on my brush and blending that in there. There we go. Okay, let's take out the frame off and see how this looks. I think that I like it. I also think that something didn't make it all the way to the bottom of my page. What am I having issues with here? Let's go down and let's find out. I'm just going to turn this on and off. It is not that. Oh, okay. It's one of my bokehs. So I'm actually going to grab my selection tool. I'm going to turn on the auto select, and I'm just going to grab. Yep, that would be it. That would be it. So I'm just going to, I just did Command T so I could transform it, and I'm just tapping it down so that it goes to the edge. Goes to the edge. There we go. Beautiful. Much better. And as I'm just glancing to make sure everything makes sense, I think we're good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save this. Look at us. Look at us. Only 42 minutes in, and we've got the whole cover made. It is definitely one I'm not sharing with you. So thank you all for coming to my party where I made my own cover for a book. I don't even have a topic for yet, but will be coming out probably in the next like 4 or 5 years because I pull this sometimes. It happens. Let me know what type of cover you would like to see next week. And special thanks to the developmental team or the tech support team for fixing the live stream issues before we went live today, right before we went live today. And for those of you who did not see, we did drop the one of 2 Jack Frost covers over on my Instagram live stream yesterday. So make sure you go watch the replay of that. More details on that to come. I appreciate each and every one of you being here. I will see you again next week as we create a brand new cover. Maybe it's paranormal romance. Maybe it's dystopian. Maybe it's another princess. Maybe it's text-based. I don't know. You guys get to vote. Let me know what you are thinking for next week, and I will see you at our next live stream. Until then, I hope you all have a great day and stay inspired. Bye, friends.